Good day, everyone. This is Vincent S. Miller with Systematic Biblical Theology. Thank you again for joining me in another theological discussion. Today we're going to discuss the first steps in systematic theology, the argument for a higher power, a creator, a God. As we begin this discussion, I realize that what we discuss here will fly in the face of many who solely put their faith in science, rejecting any idea whatsoever that there is a creator. I will be stepping on the toes of people who believe in other religions around the world, apart from the inspired inerrant scriptures of the Bible. So if any of these topics may trigger you, here is your warning. I am also widely aware that no matter what I say here will not be a good enough argument for those who put their faith in such ideology, and I realize that I may never, ever reach them. But my job here is to present the facts of the Bible and argue them theologically, why those biblical truths are correct, and I will do so without apology. I have debated people like this for decades and come to the realization that they will irrationally defend what they believe till the end, no matter what truth is presented to them. Some people you just can't reach with the Word of God, and you have to just give it up to God and pray for them. So first I want to start with science. So many times in debate over the decades, people always claim that Christians don't believe in science. Nothing can be further from the truth. Theologically, if there is a creator, a higher power, who created everything and is the source of everything, that higher power must be scientifically correct with the reality which we live in today. On the other side of the argument, people who want to put their faith solely in science without the idea of a creator must account for how and why we are here in the universe completely scientifically without any kind of irrationality of something being beyond the parameters of science in our universe. This they fail to do, which we will see here in a moment. When it comes to the God of the Scriptures, non-believers like to declare that the theological idea of creation is not scientifically sound. Unfortunately, that comes from their biased opinion, assuming that their theories on how the universe was formed is already correct scientifically. If there's no such thing as a creator or God, then the origin of the universe must come from some kind of scientific origin. But that's already coming from the assumption that there is not a higher power in the universe. If you come from the scientific point of view that there has to be some kind of creator in the universe, and the story of the biblical creation is correct theologically, then the science actually pans out. Many Christian scientists have completely worked out scientifically that the biblical account of creation completely fits into the parameters of the scientific boundaries of the universe. I think of Ken Ham in particular and his Answers in Genesis organization that has done a great job decades defending the Bible scientifically, and I will defer you to them and other Christian scientists out there that have been bucking the trend of scientific thought for decades that the universe formed by some kind of miraculous event apart from a creator. On the other hand, scientists who completely rationalize the origins of our universe apart from a creator have to twist science to defend their rationalizations of their beliefs. The theories that they have derived in the last centuries completely flies in the face of their own scientific methods. And that is the real problem with coming up with a solution to why we are here apart from being a higher power. In particular, I'm talking about the Big Bang Theory. I realize there are other theories out there like the string theory, which I'm not even going to discuss because that's purely science fiction. I literally pull my hair out when people try to present that theory as fact, so I'm not even going to waste my time discussing it. But the Big Bang Theory has been the standard go-to theory for scientists for nearly a century now. The theory first originated with a Catholic priest named Georges Lemaitre approximately 100 years ago in 1931. From there, it took off as the scientific theory on how we are here, which just boggles my mind that a Catholic priest who should know the Word of God totally disregarded it in his quest for scientific fame. So at the base of this scientific theory is what they believe, the fact that matter and energy are eternal. But this idea, for them to hold on to, has to fly in the face of all applied functional scientific method. It flies in the face of all of the scientific parameters that our universe must abide by. In particular, I defined 4 scientific laws that everything in the universe must adhere to, that believers in the Big Bang Theory do some mighty fine footwork trying to tap dance around, but in reality makes their Big Bang Theory a scientific impossibility with applied science that we can observe everywhere else in our universe. The first law that the Big Bang Theory flies in the face of is the first law of thermodynamics. In a nutshell, is the scientific fact that energy and matter cannot be created but only altered in form. They believe that energy and matter were just eternal and for some reason condensed into a small cluster and exploded for no reason, which we'll get into in a second. This flies in the face of the first law of thermodynamics for the simple fact that nowhere in observable science today have we ever seen energy and matter just appear out of nowhere. All energy and matter must come from another form of energy and matter. Just a simple law of the universe that everything must abide by. I've had people argue against this fact, saying, oh, but this, oh, but that, and I just simply say, great, show me some scientific examples. Show me some proof that matter and energy just appear out of nowhere. It just cannot happen scientifically in our universe. It's never been observed throughout history, nor have scientists been able to create an event like this from happening again. Everything we know about energy and matter tells us scientifically that this just doesn't happen. There's always a rational scientific reason why there's ever matter or energy anywhere in our world, in our universe. We're not just sitting here and an elephant appears in the room. It just doesn't happen, obviously. We're not at a ball game and off in the distance we see a mushroom cloud of energy just explode out of nowhere for no reason whatsoever. Again, all energy and matter must come from another form of matter and energy, and the Big Bang Theory bucks this scientific fact. Again, I've heard time and time scientists squirm and dance around the subject trying to say, oh, well, this is a special occasion, or oh, we don't know. But that doesn't stop them from embracing this false scientific theory. The second scientific fact that the Big Bang Theory flies in the face of is Newton's law of causality, cause and effect. In simple terms, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So if the explosion, which caused the Big Bang, was the reaction, then where or what was the action that caused it? If I grant you that the energy and matter was just there, defying the first law of thermodynamics, then why did that energy and matter explode into the universe as we know it now? Scientifically, we see reaction, but we don't see the action or know the action. We don't know the cause of the action. We know nothing about the action, but we are supposed to blindly accept that matter and energy just appeared out of nowhere and then just exploded for no reasoning at all. At the very best, this is scientific theory reaching for an answer for the simple reason that we do not have one scientifically. Unfortunately, scientists present the Big Bang Theory as scientific fact, and that's just not the case. The third scientific law that Big Bang flies in the face of is the second law of thermodynamics, the law of entropy, which simply states in common terms, that all energy will dissipate over time and all matter will degenerate back into its original elements. Again, a law of science that all things in the universe must abide by. Never in mankind have we witnessed through observational science this occurring with any kind of energy or matter. Every form of energy dissipates over time. All matter degenerates without any outside interjection. With energy, we see that fires burn out. We see that momentum comes to a stop. Without constant interjection, electricity will burn out. Heat goes cold over time. Matter degenerates. We see this in life. We see this in inanimate objects. Buildings will crumble. Cars will rust. Humans get old and die and return to dust. This flies in the face of Big Bang. If I give you the argument that matter and energy was just there without any reason, that exploded without any reason, then how do you explain this matter and energy, which exploded for no reason, becoming greater than the matter and energy originally was? The theory states that over billions of years, this matter and energy flew throughout the universe and formed stars, and the matter formed planets, becoming greater than it originally was. We do not observe this anywhere in our universe, in our planet, in science. This is a scientific impossibility. And no matter what people say, chaos does not create order. Again, nowhere in the universe have we ever observed this from happening. That you could take something so chaotic like the Big Bang, exploding matter and energy throughout the universe, and it brings the perfect universe in order like we have it today. This truly is the third scientific impossibility of the Big Bang Theory. The fourth scientific factor is referred to by scientists as the Goldilocks factor. In 1961, a group of scientists came up with what they called the Drake equation, which lists all the scientific factors that have to be completely perfect in every way for life to exist on the Earth. Everything such as the distance of the Earth from the Sun, the consistency of the Earth's makeup, the stability of the Earth's atmosphere, the electromagnetic field, the makeup of the atmosphere, the consistency of the oxygen levels, perfect temperature, perfect distance from the Sun making it a livable planet, the ozone layer, the amount of water on the Earth, the perfect moon, having a planet in the solar system like Jupiter, which sweeps out the asteroids and comets, making life more safe on Earth, the stability of our solar system, our location within the Milky Way galaxy, and the stability of our galaxy. All of these incredible factors have to be perfectly aligned for life to exist on the Earth like it is today. The odds of us actually being here having this discussion is so astronomical that it takes a better brain than mine to figure that out. But if any of these factors are just off a little bit, life on Earth ceases to exist. This is truly miraculous and points to a designer, a creator. And science at any level can't come up with an explanation on how we have such a perfect situation on our planet for life to exist the way it does. The reason this flies in the face of the Big Bang Theory is the impossibility of such order coming from complete chaos as they theorize. Again, nowhere in observable science does this happen. Can we witness this? If, and that's a big if, there was matter and energy existing for no reason, that it exploded for no reason, that it expanded instead of dissipated, and then you're going to tell me scientifically through all that and all those impossibilities, now it's going to settle and become the perfect situation on Earth for life to only exist on Earth. We have had the Hubble telescope for decades. We have now the James Webb telescope for us to gaze out throughout the cosmos and everything we see, there are no other situations, no other planets that have this Goldilocks scenario. And while it is not absolute proof that there is a creator, it sure does suggest that something out there created everything perfectly for us to be here. Again, this completely goes against the Big Bang Theory in every way. The odds of the Big Bang Theory defying all these scientific principles to get to where we are today literally makes it an impossibility. Now, I understand that critics of what I'm saying here are going to say, but Vince, that doesn't prove that there is a higher power or a creator. To my response is, you're absolutely correct. It does not prove that. But it does show the links of what some scientists will do and say to prove in their minds that there is no God. When you come to that realization that scientists will go to these links to prove their point, then they really don't care about the scientific method or scientifically how we are here. They truly are just trying to prove their theology or lack of theology, and that there's much more to their unscientific theories than just a scientific explanation. My theological argument that if there is a creator, then he is the source of all things, matter, energy, knowledge, and that he stands outside the boundaries of science. If there is a creator, obviously then he is greater than his creation and not bound to the parameters of what he created. I completely understand that this is not scientific, but rather philosophical and theological. And that is exactly my point that I'm trying to make. It's the same exact thing for any scientific theory. The scientific facts are this. We cannot recreate the creation of the universe. We cannot observe the creation of the universe. Therefore, anything we have is nothing more than scientific theory. Regardless if you believe in the Big Bang Theory or something irrelevant like the string theory, or that there is a creator, God, that made everything through intelligent design. All of these scientific laws that we discuss here clearly point that the universe is not an accident. Something started it, something fashioned it to get us to where we are today having this discussion. At that point, you have to put your faith in something. Are we here as the result of some kind of great cosmic accident? Or is there a higher power that we can't understand that put this all in motion? If there is a higher power, then all of these laws that we discuss fit in perfectly with that idea. The higher power stands outside the realm of his creation and the laws of science. Therefore, he can create matter and energy. He's the one that set it forth in motion. He expanded it and created the perfect scenario for us to have life here on Earth. And while this theological concept is not backed up by science, because that's an impossibility for any origin theory, the science does pan out with the theological theory. And at least that makes the idea of a higher power creating everything scientifically accurate. Now, I completely understand that there are many atheistic scientists out there that will die on this hill and will say, what about this or what about that? Or that I don't understand these laws of science that are pretty universal since the beginning of time. And that there are even Christian people who disregard what the scriptures say and want to somehow merge them together. To any of my critics, I ask this simple request. Present to me evidence in observational science where anything I just discussed can be proven. That energy and matter appear out of nowhere. That it explodes for no reason. Energy and matter actually increase instead of decreases. Or even give me any kind of theory on how our universe is so perfectly aligned to make it so we can have life here on Earth. The truth of the matter is, scientifically, that you can't. And you can't explain it. At that point, you should be at the point in your thought process that your scientific theories that you hold on to with all your faith doesn't answer the question. How are we here? And greater yet, why are we here? This ends part one of our discussion on the argument for God. Join us for my next video, where we'll be discussing the rationality of why we should believe in a God, discussions in atheism and agnosticism, and evidence of why we should put our faith in a creator. This is Vincent S. Miller, and I thank you for joining me and listening to this. May God bless you and have a wonderful day.